Hello there. In yet another blow to the Remainer scaremongers, a bank CEO has dismissed the idea of his company engaging in a Brexodus. John Cryan, the chief executive of Deutsche Bank, has said that reports that 4,000 jobs will have to be moved into the EU post-Brexit was too high. Talking to a Swiss newspaper, he said, "The 4,000 number that comes up again and again in media reports is much too high." He also said that mainly bankers, technology experts and traders work in London, and they want to stay there. The booking centre will move for sure, but that affects less jobs than many think. As time goes on, it seems that talk of a banking Brexodus recedes further and further. Yet another Remain scare story that dwindles away under scrutiny. The Labour Party is trying to convince us that the appointment of Suella Fernandes into the Department of Exiting the EU will leave the Tory Brexit policy in disarray. Suella Fernandes is a prominent Eurosceptic Tory MP and is also the chair of the Brexit-backing European Research Group. But what has the Labour Party up in arms is that she is against any sort of transition deal that keeps the UK in the single market. Given the hard line that Michel Barnier is taking in the negotiations, it makes eminent sense to me to have another hardline Brexiteer on the team, someone who will look actively at the no-deal exit scenario. After all, that is the way things seem to be panning out. Two arch-Remainers were given airtime by Nigel Farage today on his LBC radio show. Alistair Campbell and Lord Adonis were given the opportunity to air their views and answer questions put to them by listeners. Although Nigel found it a little hard to contain himself at times, the two interviews were conducted in a polite and even friendly manner. For me, the two biggest things that I got from them were that further integration of the EU and the forming of an EU army were dismissed by Alistair Campbell, and that a second EU referendum was effectively what Lord Adonis wanted. Lord Adonis said that given the chance in the House of Lords, he would not vote against the deal that Mrs May's government brokers with the EU, but would push hard for the choice to be put to the people in the form of another referendum. When asked what that referendum question would look like, he said it would be, do we take the brokered deal or remain in the EU as before? The first point is that what this doesn't include, of course, is what happens if no deal is reached. The second point is that the EU is now lurching towards becoming a fully fledged United States of Europe, so it is not even the EU we voted to leave anymore. When quizzed about the future aspirations of many power brokers in the EU of forming a United States of Europe, Alistair Campbell basically said that this wasn't really on the cards, and that if we stayed in the EU, then we could just stop that or reform the EU somehow. Did he not take in that totally humiliating experience of David Cameron coming back from lengthy trips around the EU looking for support for reforms, only to come back with an empty piece of paper? I also have to wonder whether he's actually been listening to the visions for Europe that the likes of Juncker, Tajani, Merkel, Schulz, Gabriel and Macron have been recently openly expressing. And on cue, the French President Emmanuel Macron is due to visit the UK for an Anglo-French summit this Thursday. The meeting will take place at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, and Macron will use it to push for the UK to join his new defence project, the European Intervention Initiative, or EII. According to the FT, despite the UK leaving the EU, the French president is still very keen that the UK joins the EII. Defence analyst Francis Toussaint is quoted as saying, "Macron realises that any European initiative for the foreseeable future will not work without UK presence. He is a pragmatist. His military are telling him, If you want this to work, then you need the Brits involved. The UK and France have already signed up to closer military integration in 2010's Lancaster House Treaty. This includes plans for a joint force of up to 10,000 personnel and even includes collaboration on nuclear deterrence. With talk of this EII and EU's PESCO, that is Permanent Structured Cooperation, that 23 countries have already signed up to, you have to wonder where all this is going. Well, actually, you don't have to wonder because it's all pretty obvious, really. All I can see is a confusing array of treaties and initiatives designed to pull control of the armed forces away from their individual countries and into European Union control. When I say confusing, I mean designed to confuse the people, not the politicians wielding the pens. The UK is already a committed member of NATO. We do not need to be signing up to any more commitments, especially commitments that embroil us further in the EU while we are trying to extricate ourselves from its web. In fact, if anything, we should be reviewing any defence treaties we already have with any EU 27 countries to make sure there are no back doors to our commitment to or integration with an EU army in them. Are you, like me, concerned about UK defence being taken under EU control by stealth? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video. And also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.